Alright, we're going to start this again. I'll try to be less rambling this time. So today is Saturday, October 1st, 2022. We are, by we, I mean Mamo, Papa, Jen, and Cami, are 4 miles west of Prairie du Roche. We are at Fort des Chartres. The French built this as a administrative center for Upper Louisiana in 1753. It was the fourth and final of a series of forts they built. This is the first one they built out of stone. They held on to it until October of 1765, by which time the British had long since won the French and Indian War 2 years earlier, signed the Treaty of Paris, and this is the first time they could actually send a military contingent down here to say to the French, hey, we own this now, GTFO. Get the heck out. Not what that means. Anyway, which a great many of them did. They handed the fort over to the British. The British were high-handed for all of about 10 years. They maintained a small contingent here until 1760 or 1775. And in 1771, the back wall collapsed because the Mississippi River moves around a lot, and it decided that it would like to take the south wall of the fort, which it did. And then the British decided, well, this is only 3/4 of a fort now, so we'll go ahead and we'll peace out. We left a small contingent here, which left in 1775, by which time the American Revolution was about to start to kick off, and they decided they had bigger fish to fry out east. So they didn't leave anyone here. They decided this fort was about to be consumed by the Mississippi and wasn't worth holding on to. So they let it go. Lewis and Clark passed by this fort in 1803, by which time they noted it was mostly in ruins.
No water.
Nope. And American settlers came not too long after that, and they saw this big pile of stone, and part of which was collapsed. And they said, hey, this looks like it'd be fun to build stuff with. So they did. And by 1900, the only thing that was left was the original French powder magazine, which was so well constructed that they couldn't tear it apart. And all of this was reconstructed in 1913. I guess the state of Illinois decided it was kind of sad to have this fort just be literally just a foundation and a powder magazine with trees growing out of the side of it. So they rebuilt everything, and they remodeled the powder magazine so it looks a little bit less dilapidated than it did when they started restoring it. They rebuilt only part of the walls, which they finished in 1989. Yes, you can tell I've done a little bit of reading. We'd probably want to get closer to the fort before we get a picture. There's a lot of tree cover in the way. So they rebuilt the north side of the fort. They didn't rebuild the south side because, I mean, the river is still very much a threat and walls are expensive. This would have actually been the back entrance. The original main gate wasn't reconstructed. This was actually the back entrance to the fort, since the French primarily traveled in the region by boat. So this is what the back of the fort looked like when the French abandoned it to the British in 1765. I don't remember how many people they said were here. I think it was only a couple hundred. A lot of the residences themselves were outside the fort. This would have had an officer's quarters, soldier's quarters, a powder magazine. Obviously you can see the guard turrets. I forgot what the name for those are. But a lot of the actual residents of the area lived outside the fort, farmed on long lots, and yes, in fact, they did in fact have a substantial number of slaves in the region. I don't think there are a whole lot of slave quarters remaining, but scattered around the area and in Prairie du Roche, 4 miles east of here, you can still see some of the original French homes and architecture, and some of the original residents stayed, and there are people that have been living in Prairie du Roche literally for the last 300 years, which is kind of cool. This is my second attempt to visit this fort. The first time I tried in June of 2019, there was 2 feet of standing water on most of the roads, so I gave up on the venture. But the roads aren't flooded this time, so second time's a charm in this case. So yeah, this is Fort des Chartres, or at least the back half of it. Nowadays, to keep the river from eating the fort again, they have a levee, which they didn't have in the 1760s. French were smarter with Fort Kaskaskia, which they built up on those bluffs, and this is less prone to being eaten by the river. But rebuilding forts is expensive, so that's just a series of hills. If you head through the gate, you can see the rest of the fort, the soldiers' quarters, the powder magazine, whatever.
To in New York was really cool because it's still working.
They have a bigger budget, I think.
They have a bigger budget.
It's also more historically renowned. Like, there were actual battles that took place here, whereas Fort de Chartres, basically the French handed over to the British when they lost the war, or the French and Indian War. And nobody actually fought for this, even though the French put quite a bit of effort into building this fort. It's really not a terribly strategic area. As soon as they have money, I'm sure they will, but... What's that?
We're in Illinois still. She said, what state are we in?
Yeah, we are very much still in Illinois. We're in much more southeast or southwestern Illinois, though.
Good question, though, Cam. Good question.
Missouri is right across the river, though. So we are here.
Before you have them drive down that service road, and they can go in there and pick you up at the back.
Oh, okay.
There's a rock road. I don't let nobody drive. You're not supposed to go back there, but
Yeah.
That's a long haul.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, if you guys, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a service road there, and you just take that, and then you'll make a left right there. You just go past that circle drive.
Okay. Thank you.
Pick her up.
All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I know it's a long walk. My legs hurt, and I walk this every day.
Souvenir. That's all right. When you get home, you can read about it. Souvenir. Hope they lost the bottom half of their tower. Pretty.
Yeah, I got one of these on my legs.
Yeah. You would, Cameron, you would like Fort Ticonderoga. It has. Graylin had been saying, can I ride on that?
What?
Graylin would have said, can I ride on that? That's okay.
It's coming after her.
Actually, you should double out again.
Alright. Keep it up. I don't have to worry about running over him.
That'd be good. Hey, Papa, was your rocks with you? Rocks with you?
Yeah, I want.
Yep. Yeah, same.
What?
Oh.
You can run up there if you want to, Cam, and look inside of it.
Yeah. That makes me nervous though. Like whenever like you first walk into like the opposite team school for like a softball thing or something like that. And you're kinda like,
You're in the wrong spot.
I think that's it.
Well, the other team hasn't been here since October 1765,
They're
so
probably
I don't think they really mind at this
Oh
point.
no, I mean like that's what I was comparing my feelings to.
You're fine. Look at those big old doors. You're being silly.
Oh, they have it in French on the other side. That's interesting. Wonder how many foreign visitors they have here.
Could be.
Oh, that's the original Powder magazine. Huh. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Interesting that they stopped the wall there. This has only been constructed since 1989, but it's interesting it's already got cracks in it. Foundation probably not the most stable. Fort Deschartres, built by Pierre Dauquet, Sieur de Boisbrant in 1719, headquarters of the French government in the West, the most important monument of French imperial aspirations in the upper Mississippi Valley. Rebuilt in 1753 to 1763, surrendered to the British October 10th, 1765, abandoned and destroyed in 1772. Well, really not. I mean, the south wall collapsed after the river got too close. But the British didn't scuttle the fort. And it just sort of decayed on its own. So yeah, this is the Powder magazine. This brick is all original, and I saw pictures of it from 1913 when they redid it, and the American settlers that came later would very much have liked to tear this down the same way they tore down the walls. That all didn't collapse on its own. Only the south wall did. The Powder magazine just too well constructed, so this survived until 1913. It was the only building still standing when the state of Illinois started rebuilding the area. Even this wasn't doing so great. It had like their pictures of with like trees growing all around it and like even poking into the side of the building. But yeah, this is the oldest building in the state of Illinois, built in. Actually, I don't remember when the original Powder magazine was built. This might have actually been built in 1719 when they were first constructing it. The rest of the stone walls were built in 1753. The first forts that were here were made of wood otherwise. This might actually be original to the first building of a fort here in 1719, in which case this would be over 300 years old. Which is crazy when you think about the fact that we're in a building in Illinois that's 300 years old. So that's the Powder magazine. I think those are the soldiers' and officers' quarters in back, if memory serves. I've actually, like I said, never actually been here before. This is from my reading. Wonder what the function of this was.
That's something I've done now, but I'm never gonna do again.
You want to go check out the powder magazine?
Sure.
That's the only part of the fort that's actually original from when the fort was actually first built.
Those are the steepest steps.
That is the oldest building in the state of Illinois.
Huh.
That is 303 years old. Looks like they've redone the roof, but all the stone is original, which is actually pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Do what? That's a good, cool view up there.
Mm-hmm. That's the only part of the fort that's actually original to it. All the rest of this was reconstructed. And that makes sense when you think about it. You want to make sure that the thing that's holding all of your damn gunpowder is sturdy. Magazines tend to be pretty well-built structures, especially in the likelihood that your ordnance goes off in there. It's a problem even nowadays. So here's a view from inside the gate, or the back gate. So that's kind of cool. Yep, hello from Kaskaskia, or Port de Chart. I can't really get a good picture of myself in here. And really, I don't want to. Fuck that. Not sure what these are the foundations of. It's interesting, they have the outline of the walls as they originally were. They stopped only with the back portion of the fort. Probably just due to cost, if I had to fathom a guess. Oh, shit. Kind of a divot there, probably for drainage. Maybe one more. Oh, good heavens. For all the work that went into this, I'm not aware of any record of this place actually being attacked. Aside from when, I guess, the French that were inhabiting the fort in October of 1865 actually had the British come and tell them to get out. At that point, they'd already lost the war, though. This fort is definitely quickly turning into my zombie plan, aside from the part where the walls are incomplete, though. It's kind of crazy that this is here, you know? Definitely seems out of place. Like, Illinois is a newer state. And this was all here literally a half century before the Americans declared independence.
That's true. That has got a whole bunch of wasp nests in it.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, they're like wasps all over.
Well, but people were smaller back in the 1700s. And French people are still mostly pretty small even today, so... You were probably about the average male height when this thing was built.
It's like a watchtower.
Oh, I'll get out of your way then. Ah. face. Oh, the lighting is terrible here. I think I may have gotten one. What's that? Ah, okay.
I don't like that.
Oh, kind of narrow. Yeah, kind of wasp nesty in here too. Yeah, this is definitely my zombie plan. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm really not good at getting pictures in here. Yeah, there's a spider web in my face now. Definitely not a fan of that. Ow, damn it. Let's see if this is any better. Nope. Ah, screw it. No more pictures. Video's better anyway. Why are there parafeds in the magazine? Were people actually trying to defend this? Oh, more outhouses.